Some places don't want to be found. Not because we didn't want to, but because we couldn't. Or maybe because we shouldn't. Number 10. Hidden within Bhutan's remote highlands lies an enormous peak known as Gangkhar Puensum. Towering at 24,800 feet, it holds the title of the tallest mountain on Earth that has never been summited. You might wonder, how is that possible when climbers have reached the top of Mount Everest countless times? The answer is simple. It's off-limits. Since 1994, Bhutan's government has enforced a strict prohibition on climbing, rooted in the belief that these mountains are home to powerful deities and must remain undisturbed. But even before the official restriction, attempts to conquer Gangkhar Puensum failed badly. One major issue? Explorers couldn't even figure out where the mountain was. The maps were so unreliable during the 1980s that some expeditions couldn't locate it at all. It's so remote and untouched that not even the summit has been clearly photographed. Nobody really knows what exists up there. It could be hiding unknown animal species or ancient relics frozen in time. And unless Bhutan decides to reverse its stance on protecting these sacred peaks, the mystery will likely remain unsolved. Number 9. The Crystal Cave of Mexico. Deep beneath the surface of Mexico lies a dazzling yet deadly wonder known as the Crystal Cave. Colossal crystals stretch across the cavern, some as large as school buses, glimmering like something straight out of science fiction. But make no mistake, this place is no tourist attraction. The cave is so hostile that stepping inside feels like walking into an oven that's actively trying to end you. Temperatures soar to around 136 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 58 degrees Celsius. And with humidity near 100%, it's less of a cave and more of a slow-cooking chamber. To make things worse, the air itself is poisonous, thick with hydrogen sulfide and other toxic gases. Breathing it unprotected would be a quick way to stop breathing altogether. Even scientists can only enter for a few minutes at a time, wearing special refrigerated suits that make them look like astronauts just to survive the heat. Without them, the body would literally start overheating from within. Despite our technology, large portions of this cave remain unexplored, because frankly, nobody wants to risk turning into steamed human soup. The crystals themselves are ancient, having taken hundreds of thousands of years to grow, and astonishingly, they're still expanding even now. Scientists have even discovered dormant microbes trapped inside some of them, tiny life forms that have been sealed away for tens of thousands of years, frozen in time beneath the Earth's shimmering furnace. Number 8. The Yucatan Underwater Caves. Beneath the jungles of Mexico lies a sprawling hidden world, an enormous network of flooded caves known as cenotes. These ancient passageways stretch for hundreds of miles, twisting and turning through limestone like an underwater labyrinth. Some daring divers have ventured inside, but the vast majority remains untouched and unseen. Exploring them is no small feat. The tunnels are narrow, pitch dark, and seem to go on forever. One wrong move, and a diver could lose their way with no chance of returning. Many of these entrances are buried deep in the wilderness, meaning just reaching them requires serious effort before the real danger even begins. What makes these caves truly fascinating is what they hold. For the ancient Maya, the cenotes were sacred, gateways to the underworld itself. They performed rituals here, leaving behind offerings and treasures for the gods. In the caves we've managed to explore, scientists have uncovered remarkable relics, pottery, jewelry, and even human remains preserved for thousands of years. And the caves are still alive in their own eerie way. Strange creatures thrive in the black water, fish and crustaceans that have evolved to survive in total darkness. Some species don't even have eyes anymore, because down here they've never needed them. Number 7. The Star Mountains. Tucked deep within the wild heart of Papua New Guinea, lies a region so remote, so hostile, that no human has ever officially set foot inside. These are the Star Mountains, an untouched stretch of land where exploration has never been completed, not for lack of trying, but because nature has made it nearly impossible. First, there's the location. These mountains are buried in the middle of dense jungle, far from roads, cities, or any trace of modern infrastructure. Then comes the terrain. Steep limestone cliffs wrapped in thick rainforest, forming what looks like a natural fortress designed to keep the outside world away. Add in the climate, and things only get worse. The area is soaked in near-constant rain, and the thick undergrowth teems with leeches, insects, and who knows what lurking in the shadows. One of its most imposing features is the Hindenburg Wall, a sheer cliff face so vast and unyielding it's been compared to a natural version of the Great Wall of China. No one's ever made it to the top. Even local tribes who live near the region avoid large parts of the range. And when the people who've lived alongside it for generations say, "We're not going in there," you know it's not a place meant to be disturbed. Number 6. Picture an ocean so deep that if you dropped Mount Everest into it, even its summit wouldn't break the surface. That's the New Hebrides Trench, a vast undersea chasm carved into the South Pacific, nestled between the islands of Vanuatu and New Caledonia. It ranks among the deepest places on the planet, and yet much of it remains completely unexplored. Why? Because it's nearly 7,200 meters down, At those depths, the pressure is so immense it would flatten a human body in seconds, like crushing a soda can with an industrial press. Only specially designed robotic submersibles have been able to reach it, and what they've brought back is nothing short of astonishing. The creatures that live in this abyss seem plucked from a science fiction film, translucent, glowing, and adapted to total darkness and bone-crushing pressure. Some don't even resemble anything we've seen on the surface. And what's even more fascinating is how this trench is helping scientists imagine what life might look like on other worlds. The conditions here, extreme cold, high pressure, no sunlight, mirror those found on distant ocean-covered moons like Europa. In a way, the secrets of this earthbound trench might just hold the keys to understanding life beyond our planet. Number 5. The Stone Forest of Madagascar. In the heart of Madagascar lies a place so jagged and surreal that is called Tsingy de Bemaraha National Park. This is no ordinary forest. Instead of trees, it's filled with towering limestone spikes so sharp they can tear through boots like paper. The word Tsingy translates to where one cannot walk barefoot, and that's not an exaggeration. This landscape is a minefield of natural blades pointing skyward. These stone formations were sculpted over millions of years, as rainwater slowly eroded the limestone into a forest of razor-edged pinnacles. Some rise as high as 5-story buildings, packed so tightly together that weaving through them is nearly impossible. Attempting to cross this terrain without ropes, harnesses and nerves of steel is out of the question. While explorers have managed to survey the outer edges using climbing gear, the interior remains largely untouched. The risks are simply too high. Yet despite its brutal landscape, the stone forest is alive. It hosts a range of unique plants and animals that have adapted to thrive among the blades. Many of these species exist nowhere else on Earth. Scientists suspect there could be even more creatures hidden within its maze-like core, but finding them would require venturing into one of the most hazardous natural obstacle courses on the planet. Number 4. The heart of the Namib Desert. Imagine an ocean made of sand, endless dunes rising and falling like waves, some towering higher than the Empire State Building. This is the Namib Sand Sea, a vast and shifting landscape whose inner regions have never been touched by human footsteps. So why hasn't anyone made it into the heart of it? For starters, the dunes are constantly on the move. Trying to chart this terrain is like trying to map the wind. By the time you've recorded one formation, it's already changed. Then there's the climate. By day, the sand can get so blisteringly hot it could melt the soles off your shoes. At night, the temperature plummets into bitter cold. Water is virtually non-existent, and the region itself is massive, roughly the size of Maryland. But unlike Maryland, there are no towns, no signs of civilization, and no roads leading in. It's nothing but sand in every direction. And even if you were bold enough to attempt an expedition, the area is protected. As a UNESCO World Heritage Site, its fragile ecosystem is off-limits to exploration. The desert is a place of silent beauty, untouched, ever-changing, and deliberately left alone. Number 3. Sandy Island. Off the coast between Australia and New Caledonia, there was once an island marked clearly on maps. At first glance, nothing seemed unusual about it, until scientists went looking for it and found absolutely nothing. For centuries, people believed Sandy Island was real. It appeared on nautical charts, globes, and even modern platforms like Google Maps. The famed explorer Captain James Cook reportedly recorded it during a voyage in the 1700s. But in 2012, a team of Australian researchers set out to verify its existence, and instead discovered only open sea, no land, no rocks, not even a sliver of shoreline. So what happened? No one's entirely sure. Some believe it may have been a mapping error that was passed along and duplicated for generations. Others suggest it could have been a temporary mass of floating pumice, created by an undersea volcano, that simply drifted away. There's even speculation that it once existed and later sank, though there's no real evidence to support that theory either. What's most surprising is how recent this was. In an age of GPS, satellites, and high-tech cartography, a completely non-existent island still made it onto official maps. It's a reminder that even in the modern world, some mysteries manage to slip through the cracks. Number 2. Northern Greenland. You might assume that every corner of Greenland has already been explored, but that's not quite the case. While its coastal regions have been inhabited and mapped for thousands of years, the deep interior of northern Greenland remains one of the most untouched regions on Earth. Getting there is a near impossible task. A massive ice sheet covers roughly 80% of the island. In some areas, it's over a mile thick. The climate is equally unforgiving. This isn't just cold. It's the kind of cold that can freeze your breath midair and seal your eyelashes shut. Combine that with fierce polar winds and months of total darkness during the winter, and it's clear why few dare to venture into the heart of it. But beneath that frozen expanse lies a hidden world we've barely begun to understand. Scientists believe there could be entire mountain ranges, valleys, and subglacial lakes that have never been seen by human eyes. Some of these lakes might even harbor microbial life, adapted to the extreme conditions under the ice. And as the climate shifts and ice slowly recedes, something remarkable is happening. New land masses are being revealed. Islands that were once buried beneath the ice are emerging. Number 1. The Taklamakan Desert. Imagine a landscape so brutal, so relentlessly barren, that it's earned the nickname the Desert of Death. That's the Taklamakan, an enormous sea of sand located in western China, covering an area larger than the entire United Kingdom. And right at its heart lies a zone so inhospitable, no human has ever managed to set foot there. Why has it remained untouched? The answer is simple: survival out there is nearly impossible. There's no water, not a stream, not a puddle. You could walk for days without finding a single drop. And getting into the center, that's a challenge all on its own. Towering mountain ranges surround the desert, cutting it off like a fortress of stone and sand. Even with modern equipment, reaching the core is nearly unthinkable. Its name, Taklamakan, comes from the local language and translates roughly to the place of no return. Not exactly a warm invitation, but beneath the dunes, there may be more than just emptiness. Some archaeologists believe ancient cities may lie buried beneath the sands, forgotten outposts from the Silk Road era. While trade once passed along the edges of the desert, no one dared to venture too far in, and so, its center remains a mystery. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe and join us for the next adventure.